Hello and welcome to our first live stream from Startup Weekend here in Frankfurt. Once dubbed FinTech, and it did turn out a little bit different. Mario, would you like to talk about it?
Well, we called our event for a reason. Welcome to FinTechCity. It was an open invitation to, of course, the whole startup community, but especially to the up-and-coming fintech community in Frankfurt. We have now several successful fintechs, and we wanted to make a point out of that. So we targeted especially fintechs in our marketing a bit, but well, it didn't turn out the way with the teams. So we selected 15 teams. 5 of those were fintechs. And as far as I can tell, over the weekend already one disbanded. So that's the normal progression of a startup weekend. But we now have a majority of non-fintech ideas, which I find completely fair and fun. So what's your take on it?
Well, I would like to ask everybody in here so you can also briefly introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Seal, and I'm very happy that there are not more fintech startups here, because I don't like fintech, because I don't understand it. It's a little bit boring for me. So I'm happy that I'm in a cool group that is non-fintech, but I understand that fintech is going to be the future, so that is a me.
Wise word.
Hi, I'm Nina, and we do represent a startup ourselves, Backstart Zero, and we are building up a place to be, a hub, and a community and a network for startups and innovation in Frankfurt. So it's absolutely amazing to be part of it, to be here, and to see all these people creating ideas and getting started within 24 hours, 48 hours. Perfect.
Point. Hi, I'm Milana. I'm also part of Start Zero and very happy to be here to hear all the ideas. It's cool.
My take. You've been asking me for my take. I would first like to watch a little bit into the videos of the teams that have been made during the course of the day, and so later on we can talk a little bit more about it.
Okay. It's okay? Okay, so let's start, guys. So we are here to check the progress of one of the teams at Startup Weekend, FinTech Frankfurt. And please introduce your team, maybe a little bit about your idea. And I'm going to ask you further questions if I will have one. Yeah.
All right. We are the team of Appointment Ad. Are you holding it? Okay. Our main idea is basically to offer a online reservation platform or integration for websites that are already existing for small and medium-sized companies that are having trouble to communicate and to organize their reservation systems. There's so many inefficiencies regarding, let's say, massage salons that have phone calls and losing their personnel's time to organize their reservations, and we want to solve that problem for them.
Okay, great. And what is, because I know there's a lot of platforms, and what is the very special feature of your platform? What is the killer feature?
Right, the killer feature of our platform is basically that we're not a platform for just any brand or any kind of company. It's really focused on wellness and beauty offers or service providers, and we are actually integrating the platform into your platform. So there's a system. We take over the techie part. You don't have to be a techie. You have a website. Maybe you don't have a website. We'll set up a website within our system for you, and you don't need any knowledge for it.
Okay, that's good. That's a fascinating idea. And tell us, please, about your team.
We're a bunch of very different guys. With Slava actually over here, he had the main idea, and he's a developer for Nintendo at the moment. And he came up with the idea. He already has the platform, and he basically pitched yesterday saying that he needs a cool team to support him. And we liked the idea, we liked him, and he's very passionate, and therefore we are trying to get it to a product that we can efficiently sell on the market. And other than that, we have some business expertise, we have some engineering expertise, some IT expertise, and we're trying to combine that to one strong force.
Okay, great. And how far you got today?
Today we got done with the market analysis in a way. We started having putting our business model canvas together, and we're able to exploit different niches of the market, also exclude some niches of the markets because there were some problems to it's always hard to find a product that fits everybody, so we decided not to be that product, as I mentioned before, and focus on certain groups, and we accomplished that today, and we're just about to go out and try to sell the product.
That's great. That will be a first test. So we wish you as a startup Red.io luck, and we will be waiting for your pitch tomorrow. Yeah. Cheers, guys.
And we're back.
Okay, now I would like to introduce you guys to Sebastian. He's the guy on the technology side here, and he's the one in charge of Livestream. We also did have Elda in our Livestream, who is part of our English-speaking podcast, Saturday.io. Unfortunately, he had to leave, otherwise he would be here in my place.
And I would like to introduce you to Jörn. Jörn is a podcaster from startupradio.de, and they're doing a German-speaking startup podcast for about 3 years now, I think. 2 years? Okay, 2 years. And together we will do some video podcasts in the future, I hope. We'll start tomorrow.
Yes, we hope. Guys, I remember seeing this team, and they've been all out here in Frankfurt actually just scouting the market. They've been very busy, and I do think they have an idea that's very fast to be realized. What's your take on it?
Well, firstly, that's like my prototypical startup weekend team. They have a very, like you said, a very fast to execute idea. So the technological side is not overbearing. The potential market value is kind of touchable. Like you can easily imagine it. So the customer validation is kind of easy. Basically, you go on the street and you have already stores that you can talk to. Even although it's kind of a multi-sided business, you can easily get customer validation in the matter of hours. That's really perfect for a startup weekend as a startup weekend idea. And the team so far, from the diversity of it, like Slava being the programmer and Manuel having the business background, is already making it a little bit rounder. So I know both of these people from experience. So I really like the team, and I'm pretty confident that they'll dish out a nice presentation at least.
Guys, any thoughts from your side? Anybody?
Yeah, I think people like them, they need to be very fast. They need to have a very short time to market, and they should get started like yesterday. And I think they will have a great benefit, or one of the most benefits out of this weekend, because we are mentors as well, and we met so many very good, very high experienced mentors as well. So they can benefit from the mentors the most to be as fast as possible to get their idea out to the market and to earn money as long as the idea will run.
Just a little funny side note from the team before we get into the next video. I've been talking to the team, and they said they bumped into a real language barrier, meaning they've been out there talking to massage saloons, and there was stated outside 40 euros one massage. They get in, they talk for it 5 minutes, and they say, would you be interested? Massage, 40 euros.
Next video.
So we got a team here, a digital signatures team, and they will tell us more about their idea and how well they're doing.
Well, our idea is pretty simple. You get receipts from all different sources with different levels of security that they are authentic, right? So you can get digitally signed receipts, or you can get them on paper, or you can get like an attorney or somebody signing that they are originals or accurate, and then you can scan them in our app and combine all the information that you have about the receipts. So you can get the picture of the receipt itself or the document, and you can get information from your credit card transaction history, so you can combine that and see, okay, there's a receipt for €5.40 for something, and there's also a credit card transaction €5.40, so this receipt is valid. And then you can save all your receipts in one place, and you can send them to your employer, so you get your money back, or you can send them to your tax attorney or whoever, or to the government officials or whoever you need to send it to, and you can throw away all the paper.
That's great. I love this paperless idea. And when you are done, I will be the first user, the first client. And how's about your team? How many people and what their background? Can you tell us a little bit about your team?
Okay. Yeah, I can tell about it. We're 5 people, and we have 2 business guys, 2 IT guys, and 1 lawyer. So it's a very good team, and the working with the team is very good and very efficient, because we have people from different areas. So we have different views to all our problems and our solutions. And as you asked before, our original idea was completely different. So yesterday we had discussions, this morning we had discussions, and now we have our final idea. But this idea is completely different to the original idea, but that's fine, and we are now happy with this idea, and I think we'll have a great pitch tomorrow.
Yeah, that's great. And how far you went from yesterday?
Well, we found out lots of background information, what's really legally possible, what your other competitors. We got like a pretty good overview over the market, and yesterday the acceptance rate for our idea was pretty low, but today everybody likes it. So I think we've come pretty far, and we've got all of us in the team have got a pretty good overview of what the other aspects of it are. So as you heard, we are a diverse team. So. But everybody understands the technical aspects, and everybody understands the business aspects, and everybody got a basic idea of the legal aspects. So that's pretty good to all be on the same board, and we can focus on some more customer validation, asking people like you if they want to buy our product when it's done, and then a bit on the go-to-market strategy, and then we are done and can focus on the presentation.
That's great. That's great. I like your idea, and I wish you a lot of luck and effective work. And we will see tomorrow how you will pitch it. Yeah. Good luck.
Go.
Do you remember talking to this team, and it was pretty interesting because they were in that discussion with one of the mentors who's also a tax advisor, and they were going, oh, and I think they really did learn a lot. What's your impression about their idea?
Yeah, it's pretty funny because I talked to him before the pitches, and he needed more than 10 minutes to explain what he actually does. So at the end of the 11th minute, I was like, yeah, for sure, yes, I understand, nothing. Can you explain it a little bit easier to me? But then somehow he managed to, like we heard, managed to get a real good team around him.
So they really took the time to kind of cut down to the core of the idea. They took the time tonight and this morning.
Yeah, and this is great. And I also think that, like you said, the mentors really helped them. So again, big pump up the volume for Startup Weekend.
So any more thoughts? What I would also say is it's a fairly large Startup Weekend. Mario would agree, because we have teams of 5 to, I believe, 10 people in max. So there's a lot of work that can be done on one idea within this time. So should we watch the next one?
Yes. Okay.
So we got a team here, a blockchain here to stay. It's a bit complicated name, but the author will tell us a bit more about that. So tell us about your idea, about the value proposal of your idea, and yeah.
Yes. So the idea is that you have a very large computer network. You can compare it to the internet. It's called the blockchain. It's the Bitcoin network, but actually it's a store of information. And it's a very secure store of information, and it's worldwide. It's not in one country, it's in many countries. And you can store any kind of information in this network, very secure and very accessible at the same time. and anonymous or non-anonymous as you want. And we want to use that technology to make the settlement and the signing of contracts more easy and more cost efficient.
Okay. So it's more a B2B model.
It is, we are exploring now the B2B model, but actually you can use it for B2C as well. And we are now thinking about how to start and when maybe to switch or to introduce B2C.
Yeah, great. So can you also tell us about a bit more about your team? Who are the people in your team, their background, and how's the teamwork is going?
Okay, so the team is on the right hand. Sehen wir das? Okay, on the right hand you have Alexander. His background is, maybe he explains himself.
Yeah, hi, my name is Alex. I work for IBM as a consultant in strategic purchasing, basically. So it's supplier management, contract management, e-sourcing, spend analysis, stuff like that. Yeah. So.
Great.
Okay, so my name is Frank. My background is in consulting, strategy consulting, and a little bit of technology background as well. Then we have Daniela. Maybe she just wants to...
can you introduce yourself, just very short?
Yes, hello, my name is Daniela Chindra. I work in Switzerland for a trust company. And I'm excited to join the team with Frank and to see what we can achieve this weekend. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, Dave, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm David. I'm actually a student in a master program of entrepreneurship at the University of Liechtenstein, and I joined for the startup weekend because I'm interested in the fintech topic, and Frank pitched yesterday the blockchain case, and so blockchain is everywhere, and everyone talks about it, and so I decided to join Frank. Yeah, that's the reason why I am in the team.
Great. And
very vague, but the people, my pitch was very vague because it was very spontaneous, but somehow we found together and are now really working on a solution and really coming to results. So it's a great team effort.
Okay. And how far you went for the last day?
You mean with how far in terms of
developing your idea, business model?
Yes. So we discussed B2B and B2C. Now we had just a talk 30 minutes ago with a lawyer, and he gave some very important input about how contracts are to be dealt with in Germany and how a signature has to follow. And we have to process some new information. We have to adapt a little bit, but fortunately it was not a deal killer, so we can adapt to that, and we are now working out the new solution. But it doesn't seem to affect us very much.
Okay. That's great. There's always a solution somewhere, and I wish you to find it really quick. And we are waiting for your final presentation tomorrow.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay, guys, welcome back. Now we had a team working on the blockchain without even mentioning Bitcoin, which I found pretty interesting. Guys, what's your take on it?
Well, actually, if you remember the 60-second pitch of him, it was basically the technology behind Bitcoin, which is called the blockchain, is awesome. We should do something with it. That was his pitch.
I totally remember that one, yeah.
And so it's not like he came up with even a clear business case, but the blockchain is a hot topic. It's so hot that banks from the 6 largest banks in the world have come together to start talks with each other to have a combined blockchain effort. So it's a hot topic. It's there. It won't go away. And the fun thing is it has so many applications that people don't even realize where it can be used. It has the same feel as the internet back then. So it's a new technology. Nobody knows right now what you can use it for, but everyone has this feeling this is going to be the next big thing. So their idea to use it for signatures and signing and communication is a pretty valid one. They have some obvious roadblocks. if you want to do any kind of signature, you have to have some process of authorization. Some body has to say, okay, he's that person. So you have to have this first step, and that's always expensive, tough, a hard touch onboarding process. That's going to be a hard nut to crack. But the team seems to be very, very excited about it, and as they seem to like each other, which is I think even more important than just having people who are professionals.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's my take on it.
You guys?
It's fintech. I have no take on it.
At least something. I remember stopping by with those guys, and they've been really, really busy working out their idea, and I do think they'll come up with a pretty cool idea afterwards.
No, they have an idea that's better than something.
Yeah, some people search for ideas their whole life, so let's see what the next team is doing.
Okay, wait.
Okay, so we have here a Dagobert team, and we have here the idea originator, Christian. And can you tell us about a little bit about your idea?
Yes, so our idea is we are opening up new revenue streams for banks by doing predictive analytics on transaction data. And it's going to be a B2B business, but the details we're going to tell you tomorrow actually.
That's great. That's a really hot topic right now, the data, and there's a lot of opportunities. And how about the team? Can you tell us something about your team members and their background and your teamwork?
Yeah, so basically leaders of the team are Mark and me. And we are both techies, so we've got a lot of background in machine learning and data science and software engineering. And then we are very fortunate to have three people from banks in our team as well, like 3 different banks, innovation management and this kind of stuff. And we've also got somebody from management and somebody from, I think he is doing economics. Yeah, economics, yeah, exactly. So we've got a really good mix.
Yeah, that's a good mix. And how far you went from yesterday?
Well, we basically had the basic concept already this morning, but since then we have been trying to find loopholes in our ideas, and but we're pretty confident now that we've got a good business case. Yeah,
that's great. We cannot wait to see your presentation tomorrow, and good luck.
Okay.
That is an obvious hot topic, having predictive analysis, big data. I would think it's a cool idea, but how they're getting the edge, that's the important part, what they can do differently than anybody else. You guys got some clue?
Well, I think their approach to predictive analysis sounds interesting, but to be honest, I'm not a pro on predictive analysis as well. I've not done it at length. But from what I've seen from the team, the 2 people who were in the video, Mark and Christian, they were the winners of Startup Week in 2014 with their team Night Hub, and they won for best execution. So they actually got a product running over the weekend. So I kind of expect highly of them this time. I kind of expect them to deliver something very interesting on Sunday. That'll going to be interesting to see how they can cope with something that's technologically more interesting and technologically more demanding, and with a much more solid business case behind it if they can crack the obvious holes.
Truth be told, that was one of the few teams that I did not talk to, so no take from me. Anybody else want us to talk?
Yeah, I absolutely do agree. I met these 2 guys too, and on a pretty early stage of this day, they had pretty precise ideas of the problems they had to solve, and they came up with very specific ideas and asking specific mentors to get these problems rethought and getting work on that. So I have high expectations on them too.
I do remember getting into this room, and this group was basically sitting around, very focused around the table. Everybody was working, so I didn't want to disturb them, sorry, and yes, I know, and so let's see what comes out of it. Should we watch the next team?
Sure.
We do have here a Zephyrin team, and we have a René, and he will tell us more about the idea, about the value proposition, and first maybe about the name. It's a really interesting name.
A name is from Latin. It's called wind, and because our subject is, as you can see, we do with wind power. So the idea is that you put kites in the air, which generate electricity from the wind. And this electricity can be used by the customer or company supplying it.
Yeah, that's a very nice idea. I remember there was a Benjamin Franklin who I think was the first guy who took the electricity from the kite with the key, and
it was lightning, I guess.
It was lightning, exactly. And but he was using a kite. That's a very interesting idea. And can you tell us about your team? How many people? What's their background?
Small team. We are 3 people. We got an MBA business guy, I'm an engineer, and we have a guy who is into modelism, who is also a business guy and who came up with the idea. And I really liked it because of my geotechnical background as an engineer. I saw that there is really a big movement in Germany for green, sustainable energy with no pollution, no noise penetration, and no environmental pollution, for example, that you have with solar cells.
Yeah, that's great. And how far you went from yesterday?
We went a lot, like huge steps. And the mentors here also helped a lot. So currently we're figuring out our presentation and what to present the jury, because it's a big project and we need a really big investment to get it going, because we need rocket engineers and engineers for aerospace and so on to get it going. To get the software going, we need guys who are really good into that. So
yeah, that's a great idea, and I cannot wait to see your presentation tomorrow, because it's a hot topic. There's an alternative energy, the space, and I think that's a good time for such startups. Thanks, guys.
I personally do like this idea because it's innovative, and I think it's freaking cool if they can make it. I do believe they have a lot of challenges ahead of them, guys.
I saw that before. I saw that in action. So kites making electricity. There's a prototype, and I think it's also a German guy who does that. And he had it in action in some windy area, and it was fully automatic. So the kite flew out and could be taken in automatically. And just when wind comes up, the kite is thrown out automatically. So there's a working thing. I don't know. They have nothing at the moment than an idea, and they want to market this idea. And there's a guy who prototyped the whole thing. I don't know who wins.
So neither do I, but there has to be a reason. There's only a prototype yet, and maybe the guys could crack the problem. Any thoughts?
You want to go?
Go ahead.
Okay. So what I find very interesting is that they have a very niche idea, especially if you think about that they presented at a startup weekend, because it's nothing you can really pull off at a weekend. But this niche idea made it possible to really get the right people in this group. So I think this is maybe one of the biggest advantages for very niche ideas, because you have such a pool of people at the weekends, and you can pull them right into your niche project.
I think this group is a great example for the variety this weekend offers to startups, because even if the idea is already on the market, they could solve other problems, and maybe they could get in the market as a second best as well and still earn money. And furthermore, it's like a funny idea. Even as a private person, you get in the idea really quick and say, hey, oh, come on, let's get this started. I'm going to buy one of these, and just try it on my own. So why not? So this is a very easy, nice, and fun idea, I think. So it's nice to represent the startup weekend with easygoing ideas like this as well.
Well, it's one of my favorite teams. because it's always these fringe teams that are to me the most fascinating. As Sebastian already said, that technology is not like unknown. It's out there. Google has a big team on it, working on it, but it's an infrastructure project. It's something that's going to cost enormous amounts of money. It's going to need a financing structure that's the actual tough nut to crack. I mean, there's like amazing prototypes out there who does that in automatic ways, which were years ago not possible, but still, it's an energy project. It's something that has to be done on a large scale. That's from the energy density you get. That's energy farming, and so you have this these kinds of problems that you can't solve just by being an engineer or just by being somebody who understands financials or somebody. You need these kinds of very diverse teams that you can theoretically find at a startup weekend. So I see that team not as a team that's probably going to, in that configuration, be the next Microsoft or something, but I'm going to see them as, well, one of those stepping stones that finally get us to that dream of a completely renewable energy using country. Because we need these kinds of technologies, and we need those funded, and we need those marketed, and all these kinds of steps need to go together. So I love this team, and I like to see them go on.
I also do think it's a good combination of just 3 people with very diverse backgrounds, and they found each other here, and that's another good point for the startup weekend.
Okay, next one.
We have here a crazy productivity app, and we have here Eleanor, and she will tell us a little bit more about the idea. So what is the value proposition?
So the really cool thing is lots of people start to go more and more play games because work is boring. And the whole question is like, how can we make that energy, people solving unnecessary world problems like World of Warcraft, whatever, and how can we use all that creative energy and bring it back into the workplace? So how can we make real work more like a game, so people are more productive and have much more fun in the real work and solve real world problems?
Okay. Is it really possible?
That's how we're working on it, but we have a clear idea on how we're gonna do it, so we trust, yes.
Okay, great. And how about your team? Who are the people in the team, and what's their background, and what's the atmosphere?
Okay, I think we have the craziest team ever on the planet, because we started off, as we won the pitch in the first round, we started off with 4 people, and now we are 8-9 people, and we keep on attracting people from all over the place. So the management style has already to be adapted. We had, of course, very democratic, and we had to structure it way more. And this is a learning experience along the way, and ideas come flowing in, and it's a challenge to actually keep ideas a bit more structured. And this is we are moving into management. We're almost out of the startup phase.
Yeah, that's great. And how far you went?
We have a bunch of ideas on cool names. We have first technical implementation. We are still figuring out the revenue model, which is really hard for that as the idea goes. So if you have any help, any assistance with that, we have cool design ideas, and it's like lots of pieces which still have to make a whole picture in the end.
Okay, great. So everyone is waiting for your final presentation, and me too, because I don't know if it's really possible to transform this energy into productivity, and I'll be your first user. Thanks. So good luck.
You'll be the second.
Okay, I will be happy to.
That's also a great example for an interesting team, because when I was there, they've been talking about that they started with 4 people. When I stopped by, I think there were approximately 10 people, so more and more people got there. And I vividly remember the big pitch they had there. It was just basically 3 words on one page, and they got the most dots. So good marketing obviously works. Your thoughts on this team, guys?
Yeah, so I don't know Eleanor, but I love her because she hustles so hard. It's unbelievable. I gave her two of my dots, one for a hustle and one for a product, her idea. And I'm pretty sure she's one of the first contenders for this weekend because she gets shit done.
very picturesque description. Yes, I do like that.
I do like this group as well a lot because it's just it's so much fun to see them working. You get into the idea very easily. You get engaged with the idea very easily. Everyone has an idea of gamification for work, so and they're so enthusiastic. So at least, even if you don't earn lots of money with this idea, it's a group who's brave enough to think out of the box, and I love that.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good point, out of the box.
We have here a gacha team and Ekaterina, and she will tell us a little bit more about the idea, about the value proposition. So what's the idea?
The idea is to build an emotional communication, real, true communication with voice analysis of emotions. So you talk to the phone and it records your message and analyzes the emotion, and then you send it to your partner, and the other one sees the emotion and can say, okay, I want to hear the message or not. And you cannot change anything about it, so it's truly honest.
Okay. And it is based on the voice?
Yes, it's a voice analysis software that's already on the market, and we use the technology to build a lifestyle product of it.
Okay, great. And can you please tell us about your team, about the people, their background, and how's the teamwork is going?
Actually, kind of a really funny team because we split up. We had two really good ideas and we just couldn't engage in one of them, so we just decided, okay, we pursue both of them and have two teams right now. So what background, I think you can tell yourself.
Yeah, hello, my name is Holger. My background is online marketing in the real estate, commercial real estate sector. And I think it's really fun to work here together. It's a very diverse team, it's very dynamic, and we have a lot of ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, my name is Evgeny. I'm designer and UX expert working for 5 years in that field. And yeah, I'm thinking about how this future thing could be cool for the users.
And you? So I'm Motaz, I'm a software engineer, and hopefully I will achieve it to program whatever thing before the end of tomorrow. So let's see how it goes.
Okay, great. And did you do already a lot since yesterday?
We were more discussing our two different ideas, and right now we are building our marketing concept and the user story, and the first mock-ups are already drawn from our designer here.
That's great. So you already have a prototype, yeah? Almost you're getting to the user interface. Yeah.
And we did a market research, actually. We asked, teen girls, and they were really excited about the product.
That's great. If you need more samples, I mean, I can also help you if you need some feedback. Yeah, please. Okay, we wish you luck for tomorrow, and we cannot wait to see your final presentation, and I hope we can test it already tomorrow.
I also do remember the pitch from this group, and they had something like a cube that could analyze emotions. But actually this one is much cooler. Every time you get something with bad emotion, you just drop it. Do you think that they could also make this for emails?
I think they just wanted to adopt the idea of emoticons and text messages to voice messages. And when the interview just started, right before we came in to help them to get up their marketing concept, and they still struggle a little bit with who could use it, how could it be used, how could it be helpful, and how about earning money with this idea. And this was most critical fact about it. So I'm pretty excited to hear their pitch tomorrow, how they came up.
Very funny is that they split up, and I think the other team is still working on the cube thing. Or is it? We will see them.
Don't know.
They asked me if they can kind of split up and pitch both ideas. So generously as I am, I allowed them to do that.
Most kind of you.
That's who I am. No. Both ideas sounded kind of valid, and well, they were a large team before, so it's okay in my mind. And both ideas, were interesting on their own, but have different use cases. Mm-hmm. So if you have like a physical product that shows you what your current emotion is, and you use that to get a better feel for your own emotions, and if you like have mood swings or something, you can get them better, more in control, or at least, well, not be as shitty to your partner as you could possibly be. Then that's a good thing. I think we can agree. But also, if you send somebody a voicemail or something, or a voice message, and the app prevents you from yelling at your boss, that's also a valid use case. So at least that's what I understood from the product so far. I don't want to spoil them or so.
Even though some bosses deserve it.
Even though some bosses deserve it.
Actually, I do think that, and that's a very good point, if they could it precise enough to get into the medical field, like when you have to take a happy pill and when not, that would be a very good thing to do.
Well, actually, like technologically, this is completely like doable, and there is software that does that out there right now. So it's more a marketing thing, because right now that software is mostly used by historians. Like you can use that software to analyze all pre-recorded speeches pretty well. So you can it's used by historians for if, for instance, if they have recordings of political discussions, they found out Khrushchev was hating that guy or something during his speech.
Hating everybody.
That's your message that you got in the West. I was too young to get any message, so but still. So that's the software is out there. There are solutions out there. They are not used yet. So that's a very interesting team for me, because they could, if they, I'm not sure if they actually have the connections made already, that they could just use existing products and use them and market them just more widely, and then they have a giant market for that I can see that they could target. So I found that very interesting.
Yep, me too. Any more thoughts? Nope.
Okay.
Okay, we have here the Fassenline team, and we have Franziska here. And Franziska, can you please tell us more about the idea? What's your business idea, business model, value proposition?
So basically, it's the idea that the patient don't have to wait anymore in a waiting room for. So if they go to the emergency room and there's a lot of people waiting, they don't need to wait anymore. They just have an app which tells them when to come again and to see the doctor.
That's great. I think all of us spend hours and hours waiting for the doctor, and I would love to use this app. And can you please tell us about your team, about the people in your team, their background, and how good you are working together?
So yes, basically we all met yesterday, and I just know my friend Theo already. So far we are all really good working together. Basically we don't. Unfortunately, we don't have a designer and no developer in our team, but I think we can solve the problem. Maybe you ask them if they want to introduce themselves.
Yeah, sure. I know already this guy. He's a very experienced startup weekender. We were together last year.
That's true, yes. And this year is also very great. And I'm very happy to be able to work with these guys and girls.
It was just great to work with people from different kind of background, and to make our business idea into reality. Yes.
Great.
I think we have a really good idea and tackle a huge market, because every person in Germany spends so much time waiting for a doctor in the waiting room. Every German person goes to a doctor at least 3, 4, 5 times a year. So yes, I think this idea will be pretty huge.
Hi, my name is George. I found the idea quite good and I gave it a try, and so we are here and try to figure it out how to realize it. So, thanks. Yeah.
That's great. And can you tell us a little bit, did you do a lot already since yesterday?
How much we have done so far? Okay, so this is our business model canvas, and we try to fill all the gaps, and I think we are very successful so far. And so right now, Carson and me are working on a mock-up and also on a web page, and yeah, so these guys were so far in a hospital and looked for patients to talk to, and yeah, we are going now in the next step. We will be also again outside talking to a lot of other people because we had to rethink our model a little bit.
Yeah, sure. The more experience, the more feedback is better. Yeah. Okay, thanks. We wish you luck, and we will see your presentation tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Hello guys, and welcome back. As you cannot see off camera, we do have a lot of fun here. 2 points. One, this video was pretty cool because it tells you how easygoing the startup weekend is. Nobody tells you clean up your desk. And secondly, we do have a real specialist on this team here.
Yes, well, surprisingly not the fintech thing, but still. Well, what can I say? We tried to evaluate our ideas, and we had mixed results, so it's very hard for us to move forward. But we have a good team, and we have a lot of fun until recently. But, well,
no details needed.
Let's see how Sunday comes along. But I'm very happy to be able to work with the guys and girls, and it's very fun.
More thoughts?
Yeah. As I used to be a volunteer in paramedics, I think if this idea could get set up, it would really solve some problems, like, for example, people not seeing a doctor, but the hospital as well on the weekends. They block the chain for the real, first aid needing first aid needing people. So it could solve the problem, like with the waiting in line.
Yeah, so you already visited us?
No, just got the idea, but I'm gonna listen to you tomorrow.
All right, good.
So you see, important connections. Let's see the last one.
No, that's not the last one. We have 5 to go.
5 to go. Here we go.
Okay, so great. We do have here a founders card team, and we have here Binya, and she will tell us more about the idea. So what's the killer idea of your startup?
So because we are today in the DB Tower, right, the startup weekend, and we want to address the problem that every founder has. We don't have money, and we need to travel to do business meetings, and it's kind of too expensive to really travel and to stay at a hotel. So sometimes you just, don't go to the business meeting, and because you have a lack of resources, basically. So we thought, we have this DB, DB here. They have all the access. They have the transport with the Bahn. They have Flink under contract now. They have partnerships with hotels. So what would they, how could they offer a service to how could we bring the startups, the founders, together with DB? So we came up with our solution with Founders Card. That was the initial idea, but right now we have transformed the idea a bit. So it's a platform at the moment where startups can sign up. So we have kind of a process where we check what kind of startups they are. If they are like in early stage, we are looking for registered startups or which take already part in an incubator program. And so basically we offer them the service of Deutsche Bahn kind of for free or nearly for free. We are still checking the numbers, and we are doing a survey at the moment with with the startups here and with some people that we know that are founders. So we want to basically offer them this for nearly for free, and in return they have to we can get the Deutsche Bahn basically the ideation and the knowledge of what the startups have and the creativity which they actually want, because they want to change their image, they want to make it more they want to change the culture a bit. So that's the idea.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, the mobility. So it's a mix of social business, of mobility, and fintech, and Deutsche Bahn. The Flink is a great example, and I think it's a good idea. And how about your team? Can you please tell us more about the people in your team, their background, and how's the atmosphere?
Oh, the atmosphere is really great. We are a very compatible team of different. We have someone from like IT and programming background, some business developers. We have I myself. I'm in marketing communications and also in business development. And we have someone from the Deutsche Bahn in our team, so he can provide us a lot with inside information. So that's really helpful. And yeah. And our founder is also a consultant. I mean, the initial initiator of the idea, Florian. And so we work together very well.
Yeah, that's great. And how far you went already since yesterday?
We went far, and we are already starting with the presentation at the moment. We are currently doing still like the survey So we're on the way.
Okay, great. I wish you luck, and we will see the result of your work tomorrow. Your presentation, of course. Okay. Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Welcome back. I do believe this team has a pretty tough nut to crack, because just from the top of my mind, I can come up with like 10 or 15 platforms for startups. Guys, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm really looking forward to the pitch, because I didn't have them on my monitor. So I'm really looking forward to see the pitch and really grasp the idea how they want to make money out of it. Because right now it seems like we give something for free, so that would be really nice.
A lot of people have startup platforms out there. Most of them are free of charge, and those few platforms that start charging money, they soon lose the startups to any competitor who still offers the service free of charge. So it's a tough nut to crack. Let's see if they can do it.
Wait.
Dominic. Okay, we have here at Zug's team and Dominic, and he will tell us about this business idea. And so what is the value proposition of this idea?
It is a social startup called Zug's. It's a German abbreviation. Says something like civilian support in case of emergency. And what we want to do is to build up a platform, a smartphone app, to coordinate people that want to help. Volunteers, civilian people, if there is a catastrophe somewhere in our country, they can help by registrate on our platform, and then we will coordinate them. Yeah, because some years ago, when there was a big flood in Dresden, we've seen that there's a high potential of people that go to Facebook, build groups, and go to the catastrophe place and want to help, but they're destroying. They are not doing the right things because they do not cooperate with the fire brigade and the other companies. So we want to be a coordinator at that point and bring the people together, bring them to the right place where they can really help.
Okay, great. And at what stage is the development of this idea right now?
We came up with this idea 1 year ago, and until today we have a prototype, which is on our website, www.zugs.org, where we have a prototype. It's a server-client application where you can see what it should look and feel, and that's basically it.
Okay. So you have the idea since a long time ago, and what you are trying to achieve at Startup Weekend, do you want to bring more features or more people or more just brainstorming?
Yeah, actually we are a team of about 7 people, and I wanted to get some new ideas, get some new supporters, and all of our team members are with a technical background, and we need some business people because, well, it is non-profit, it is social, but it still needs to be financed somehow, and we're still searching for an idea how to make a business model out of it.
That's great. That's a place to be for that. And can you please tell us about the team here on the Startup Weekend?
About our group?
Yeah, what their background, how many people, what's the atmosphere?
Yeah, there are a lot of different people. Most of them come from Frankfurt or even Köln. In our group we are Krefeld, I'm sorry, but Köln as well. Mostly business people, and we developed some ideas, but we got even further. Until now, it's not only Zux, it's even more, because we have the refugee emergency, and that's even more current than Zux, so we switched a bit.
Yeah, that's a great decision, and we wish you luck, and we are waiting to see your presentation tomorrow. Yeah, and I wish you to find investors.
We hope so.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I wish you guys could see how much fun we have when you're watching the videos. It's we almost would pay to have it. that is so awesome. But back to Zux. Mario, you got a special take on it?
Of course, I'm always very happy about those social ideas, although they sometimes don't look like the most survivable ideas, because they have to balance their goals against something. It's not something like you try to earn as much money as possible over X time. You also try to maximize the social value. So in some ways, social startups are even more hard to do than normal startups. But I always love them because especially when they have such a current, kind of crisis to solve. The refugee crisis that we are experiencing right now in Germany is real. I think pretty much every German has now at least talked about it. Every second German has felt the immediate repercussions of it. So there's lots to do. And we as a country should do more to... actually, we should do not only more, but should do a good job of be as friendly and welcoming as possible. And that we have at our Startup Weekend initiatives like this shows me that we're moving in the right direction and that we have the right kind of crowd here. So I'm kind of proud to have attracted those people as well.
Yeah, me too. One problem that I do see in such apps is you can only see what was the last big event, and then you can prepare for kind of something like this. I think only 1 year ago, nobody was seeing so many refugees coming to Germany. So it's like a lot of unknowns you got to prepare for here. Any more thoughts?
Yeah, but it shows that this crisis is a big chance, and so even the crisis reaches startups thinking about to solve these ideas and solve these problems, and maybe this one helps to get one step further in solutions for the future, because refugees and to immigrate people and to get people that are not from Germany into Germany and not from foreigners to colleagues, that will still be a topic when the refugee crisis is over. So.
Yeah, that should be a topic for, let's say, the next 10 years to
For
integrate all those people. Any more thoughts?
No.
Thank you.
So, hi, we do have here a FinEd team and Jan. And Jan, can you please tell us more about your idea and what is your value proposition?
Sure, thank you. Well, we call it FinEd. We care about financial education. What we see in the market is that people make lots of mistakes investing their money. Either they don't invest or they leave it on their savings account where, there's literally no interest rate paid on it. So what we're trying to do is to get the idea about investing in a broad index to the broad population, the people that don't invest in stocks so far, that don't really care about financial markets, that have no interest in it, but that have money, even like 100,000, 100 or 1,000 euros. They can invest and still get some money out of it. So what we are trying to do is to bring the knowledge to the people for existing products, like the MSCI World Index is already existing, but we want to get the people to know that there is a product that is very cheap, very efficient, on average. the MSCI world cannot be beaten by the average managed fund. So it's the best and cheapest option to buy. We want to bring that out, get it to the people. I think that's like getting the idea about investing very easily, like making videos and apps that even children would understand and would know, okay, maybe I'm not going to the bank, but I'm going on your website. I want to know something, how to invest. And later on, we provide the information where they can do it, and thereby we earn money.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing idea, and these very simple videos, because, for example, I did an MBA course, and my favorite channel was mbabullshit.com because it's just too simple and explained. But what is your background? How you came to this idea? Do you have a financial background?
Yeah, I finished a master's degree in finance, and right now I'm working in consulting with banks. Yeah, that's how I mean, the idea is very, very nearby. Yeah. It's nothing new. It's not reinventing anything. It's existing. It's out there, but it's just the way how to approach the customers, how to get the idea, how to get the information to them.
And also one question, there's not a lot of fintech ideas here. Instead of that, the topic of the Startup Weekend is a fintech right now. And what do you think is the main reason? It's just not interesting for the main part of the startups, or maybe in this case, your startup will help people educate and show that it's not actually very difficult. So what is the reason? Why is it fintech is just not approachable to most of the business and startuppers?
I think there are various reasons. One is that fintechs needs some kind of background knowledge. There are lots of specific topics you wouldn't think about as a customer. So there's some B2B interaction between banks which you don't see on the streets and which you don't learn about in universities. So it's like not very transparent, and it's like not the closest you would think of. The closest to think of is, okay, I'll open a bar, I'll open a restaurant, but no, I'll open a bank. No. And that's one thing where all the regulation comes. So it's not easy to be a bank, and everything we are thinking about is where do we where's the border where we can be in Germany, where it's safe, where we don't have to fulfill the MiFID, Markets and Financial Directives regulation, and where's our ground where it's safe, and it's not easy to come up with an idea there, which is like good or like really innovative.
Okay, and can you tell a few words about your team here? So what kind of people are here? What's their background and atmosphere, your teamwork?
Yeah, we're, which is great. We're a large group. Altogether, we 10 people. And we are trying to get we have lots of ideas, but it's hard to split it up into different teams. We're with a diverse background, from engineering to chemicals to marketing to IT. So it's great not to have just one perspective, but rather a broad approach on it.
Okay, and how far you went since yesterday?
Well, we thought a lot about the idea. I think it's before we just go and run out, we need to think, what are we going to do? And we discussed a lot. It's the advantage to have 10 opinions around. But then we have to structure it and get the work done.
Yeah, I think you are doing pretty well, and we will see the result of your work tomorrow on your presentation. Then good luck. Thank you.
Well, finally, guys, you've seen there's a real fintech in here. Before I give my opinion, guys, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so this group will be a big proof of our skills to be a mentor, because after this interview we went in and helped these people to get up their concept.
So you kind of destroyed them.
We tried. So maybe tomorrow the idea will be more easier, and I think the idea itself was pretty good, and we would be kind of proof of concept, because as private persons we would be beta testers, and I would love to try it as soon as they're out, because it should make it easier for people to get their money into market, even if they don't want to take big risks, because it makes the idea and the profiling easier. So time will tell.
Any more thoughts from you guys?
Well, from what I've seen so far, they have the market strategy not completely done right. From what I've seen, they are a big team, which is not always a good thing. Like 10 people is the max amount of people that you should have, and I'm not sure if that helps them actually, and I'm not sure if they can get to if they have already gotten to the actual core of the idea. And I'm very excited to see what's going on Sunday with them, because technically they should be they have a gigantic market to attract. So if they hit the right dots, that could be, especially for our judges, very interesting to look at. So I'm interested.
Yeah, I think so too. On the other hand, in Germany they always have this kind of regulatory border that they cannot cross, otherwise they would need to be a financial services company or even a full bank, which is so expensive that it kind of crashes all your business models. When you're not already a bank, you kind of can forget this, and they do have really an issue with how close could they be to the bank, and do they need several or one. So I was having a long discussion with those guys with another friend of mine who's also a consultant in financial services, and it turned out they have a lot of good ideas, but they need to pin it a little bit more down, narrow it much more down. So but it could still be a good idea, and I also do believe it's a big market.
Okay, we do have here a team which is split from the Emotional Cube team, and they don't have the name yet, but they're in the process, and they will tell us more about the idea and why you split it.
Okay. Well, we split off the Emotional Cube, which we're based on the same core technology, where core technology is using audio data like call data to figure out the emotions of the participants involved in the call. So, for example, one centerfold application would be to facilitate a sales agent's ability to read their participants in the call's emotions. So, for example, if you're trying to sell a product and you realize that the person you're calling is not interested in your product at all, they're not engaged at all, you can just finish the call and move on to the next call. Or in the positive way, if you see that the other person you're calling is very interested, you can actually try to upsell, not sell them just one product, but you realize you might be able to sell them more than one product, and use that information to your advantage.
So it's in telesales business.
Basically, yes, I would say that, but it's based on new technology with machine learning and deep learning that leverages things that you couldn't do a couple of years ago, which reading emotions is obviously a very human thing to do, but which computers can do nowadays. So we try to facilitate that to basically enable sales agents to do more of what they're already good at.
Okay, great. And can you tell about your team? Are you only two of you in the team?
Sure, yeah, there's just the two of us. We split off from the other team, and we have come from very different backgrounds. So I'm more on the marketing and sales, and
I'm a psychologist and machine learning expert.
Yeah, that's a good mix, actually. And so how far you went since yesterday? So you split it. Did you start just from the zero, or you already had some basement?
Yeah, so what we've been doing is actually going out and validating with people and getting their feedback and getting some really key ideas. And then we've really appreciated the help from the mentors to really help us think through, the legal aspects of this and how we can make sure we're covered, obviously, in the EU and the UK from a legal aspect. and then just, I guess, further validation. So probably we'll keep working on looking at our competitor analysis tonight, just look at what other competitors are out there in the marketplace, and then tomorrow morning we're going to go back out there and do a final validation with consumers to make sure that what we're actually building really meets the customer's needs.
Okay, great. So I wish you luck, and we will see the result of your work tomorrow in your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
We already talked about a little bit about the idea, so I think it's pretty fine. What we've been discussing during watching the video was that maybe the only person who's a psychologist and a machine learning specialist in one person. He may be the only one in the Rhein-Main area, and you met him here on the startup weekend and could get him into the group. So that's a 1 in a million chance.
Yeah, so that for me as an organizer, that's kind of exciting to like have these moments where you have these different uncertainties adding up. So how sure could you be to meet if you came up to the idea I want to build something that tracks emotions? She's not a psychologist, the idea giver. She's not a machine learning expert. She's not a programmer, but she met programmers. She met a machine learning expert with background in psychology. She met sales and marketing people that were interested in using their technology for sales and marketing. So that team in itself is such a high amount of uncertainty in it, so much that you shouldn't have the chance to meet these people. It's just statistically not possible. But still, our event attracted that, and it makes me really happy and excited for the event. As well, I always like to make these matches, and it works. It seems to really work and strike a chord with them. So I'm happy as much.
So startup weekend is statistically impossible, right?
Startup weekend, as I do it, as we do it, statistically impossible. I don't see a way we could do that way.
Awesome.
Rhein-Main rocks. Only in Rhein-Main.
Last one.
Okay.
Okay, we do have here a LearnX team, and we have here Julie. And Julie, can you please tell us about the business idea, the value proposition of your startup?
Yeah, I can. The value proposition is actually the problem that we're struggling with right now. So one of the guys here in my team, Marcus, came here with an idea preset, which is to develop an online learning platform for the Chinese market, where people will be able to learn English as well as any other stuff they want to learn from knowledgeable people, and particularly with the languages, to learn from foreigners.
And why China?
Because he lived in China for a while, so he knows that market really well. Because China is a really big market, and they're really interested in solid, really good additional education for their children, and they're willing to pay for it.
That's great. And can you please tell us about your team? How many people, what's their background, and how's the atmosphere in your team?
There are 5 of us, so there are 4 guys. We're really internationally mixed. So we have Qin from China, then we have Marcus, who brought the idea, who is from Germany and brought the idea, Saurabh from India, and Benjamin, who's also from Germany. So we have lots of technical people, and then me, I'm a marketing gal myself, so that works out pretty good. Atmosphere is really relaxed, and I think the main challenge for our team in particular is to ask questions to Marcus, because he's really far along. He's actually already in the development of the MVP of his product, so we're asking questions to him to make sure he thought about everything.
Yeah, that's great. I think you have the very international team, and you have a really broad skill set. And how far you went since yesterday?
I have to say we didn't go as far, but I think that's really important that we didn't get as far, because what we noticed during the process, that the business plan that Marcus already brought was flawed in the respect that the competition has been underestimated. So the competition is relatively close to the idea that he's been working on. So our USP sort of fell through. So now we're thinking about how we can refocus and how we can position the product to actually create some additional value compared to the competition.
Yeah, that's great. So you're gearing up your business model and directing to the right direction. So good luck to you, and we hope to see your great presentation tomorrow. Yeah, thanks. Good luck.
Okay, those guys are pretty interesting. They're here at the Startup Weekend Rhein-Main, and they're working on an idea they want to realize in China. I think it's a very far shot, and there's a lot of work ahead of them and a lot of trouble. But what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I really don't understand, let's say, 80% of Chinese people when they start talking English. And it's really a problem because they really spend a lot of money, like thousands of euros probably if you change the currency rate. And it's really like crazy how much they spend and how little value they get of the 10 years that they learn English. So this is a big problem.
Yeah, the issue is more in the Chinese school system. The written word is much more important than the spoken word. So they prepare, they're very good in the written language, but they do have big problems in conversational English. So sometimes they use different words or literal translation. Like, for example, I've been in Shanghai with a friend, and there were lots of people on the street, and he said, "Oh, people mountain, people sea." Meaning there are enough people to build up a mountain or to fill up an ocean, which means it's pretty packed here. But you don't understand, right? It's a literal translation, and you just have to work on this, and you have to learn it. And it's a hard process, especially if you're not a native speaker of a European language that is much closer to it. So it's a very tough one.
What I find interesting about this team is that the idea giver came here with a Startup Weekend Chengdu t-shirt. So just to show you that Startup Weekend is not a thing that we do here, or that it's only done in, I don't know, Silicon Valley or something. There's like remote parts of China where they do Startup Weekend. I remember when we did Startup Weekend in 2012, at the same weekend there was a Startup Weekend in Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia. So this is a global thing that we do here. It's like all connected, kinda. I don't find it that abstract to think about a solution for a market that's, well, halfway around the planet. But as you've said correctly, it makes it obviously doesn't make it easier.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm pretty interested how the judges will see that, because obviously that market is gigantic. Just an example of how big the Chinese market for basically anything is. There's a German soccer team, I think it was Cologne, I'm not sure. No, it was a smaller team. They added a Chinese player from a Chinese province. And the second they did that, new TV rights were bought for that team, because about 80 million people in China wanted to see that game. Think about, like, in China there's roughly 1 billion people, a little bit more. So 80 million for them is not that high a number.
It's still a minority.
It's still a minority. And so, but that's like all of Germany watching that one second league team. So that's for some teams still now very interesting. So you can kind of see the leverage, and when you look at that leverage, the idea doesn't seem so implausible then, because the investment that you put in to get all the stumbling blocks to get it set up from here will reward themselves when you get that leverage. So it's not that bad a thing, to be honest.
But still a pretty tough one. Any more thoughts on a specific team, or we just want to wrap up a little bit? More thoughts?
Yeah, I think the point is, even if you're starting the idea out of Germany, made in Germany is still a big quality topic in China, and I think you can use that to place the idea and to get into the market. So just give it a chance.
Okay. So guys, I would be interested in hearing your thoughts from the evening, from the Startup Weekend. What do you think, just like in 2 sentences? If this Startup Weekend would be a book, what would be the title of it? Sebastian starts.
That's true. I'm not even a participant. I'm just the video guy.
You are an observer. You're always behind the camera. Come on, tell us. Give us a good idea.
Can we move movie title too?
Yeah, like a script. For you, it can be a movie title.
No, if it's a book, that's something very great for me, because it's the very great ideas, cool ideas presented yesterday, and they worked it out, and so. I love Harry Potter. It's got nothing to do with the startup weekend, but it's a great book for me. So this is something like Harry Potter.
And it
something
also has a lot of magic in it, right?
Ah, yes, magic.
Yeah.
That's the connection. So we got a connection to Harry Potter.
Your thoughts?
In one sentence, I would say we're here to get you started.
Nice title of a book.
I get an association with a song like, Grand Rapes, big in Japan, so why not being big in Manhattan?
Nice.
Oh, hard wordplay.
So...
Well, Mario can take over, and then you have more time to think.
Okay. Can I
2 sentences.
It's going to be a game title. For me, it's Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Why the tycoon?
Because
why not life is a roller coaster?
Because it's not just fun, it's organized fun. You're trying to get money out of it. So Roller Coaster Tycoon kind of fits. You have amazing ups and downs, and people shift their path all the time. But still, there's these hot dog stands where you're trying to get money out of all those people that are walking on the street down there, where you're trying to get the whole thing profitable. So it's Roller Coaster Tycoon for me.
How to meet crazy people and alienate a lot more people.
Yeah, for me it would be like a mix between a very smart and important book, The Intelligent Investor, and something like Pinky and Brain. like a 50-50 mix.
That's great.
Guys,
brain.
Guys, any more thoughts on it? So I do believe Mario has the last word to close the stream for today.
I'm extremely excited to be here at the DB Skydeck. We're very happy to be allowed in this location. I mean, we're on the 34th floor, looking all over Frankfurt. So those of you at home are missing something. So I'm very thankful to our sponsors, Deutsche Bahn, Viseum, and eTexture, and so much more. So thanks to Accenture, thanks to PwC. I'm even more grateful to all the awesome attendees. Thanks to you for just popping in here. Thanks to our mentors, and gigantic thanks to Sebastian, who's doing all the streaming. He's doing a great job, and he's recording all the pitches. When later on all these founders will become billionaires, they will look back to those YouTube videos. So
they want to get them deleted, yes.
To be forgotten.
Yeah, we won't have that, right? I'll make sure of that. So, and gigantic applause to Jörn as well. Thanks, Jörn.
Thank you. Good night, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.